Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar with the theme Creating and Sharing Web Apps with ArcGIS Online. Your presenters will be Evelyn Lele and Wenslaus Nabiswa. And just in case you have any questions, you can please write them in the chat box on your left side of the screen, and then we will respond to them. So we are going to do this in two phases. The first phase will be creating web applications with configurable templates, and then my colleague will take you through the next bit, which is creating web applications using web app builder for ArcGIS. So ArcGIS Online has very many options for creating web applications, and we will demonstrate how you can be able to select, modify, create and share web applications using ArcGIS Online. And as I said, we're going to have two workflows. So the first will be that of applying your web map to existing template application. Then the second bit will be creating your own web applications using Web App Builder for ArcGIS. So web applications demonstrate web maps or web scenes along with the layers that they reference. So these web maps and web scenes provide various options for showcasing your. So these web applications provide various options for showcasing and sharing your web maps and web scenes, and we're going to see that shortly. So we have different types of templates. We have different categories of configurable web app templates. We have that category for collecting or editing data, and for this we can have apps that you can use to edit your data, for crowdsource polling, for information lookup, among others. And then we also have the category for comparing maps or layers. And for this, you can be able to do compare analysis, local perspective, you can get public information, among others. Then we also have those templates that you can use to explore, summarize your data, and you can be able to filter your data. You can be able to create summaries of data and all that. And we also have one for making, let's make gallery. We have various story map templates. We also have templates for routes or getting directions. So we're going to see how you can be able to use these templates shortly to create various applications. So configurable app templates allow you to build web applications without writing any single line of code. And each of these templates is designed to serve a specific purpose or functional goal. And so, for example, we can have gallery templates, which reference multiple web maps or web scenes, which allows you to browse and compare features of different web maps. We have story map templates, among others. So we have various components of a web application, and the first component is the theme. So the theme is actually a collection of the user interface that defines an app, the look and the feel, the layout, and everything about that app. So from the theme, like for my case here, we have this one. This is the theme, health facilities in this county. So this is the theme. It tells us what this application is all about. And then we also have the web map or the web scene. So web maps or web scenes reference GIS and map services. So these web maps and web scenes contain pop-up information, bookmarks, and other information for the ArcGIS user. So for our case, this is the web map. Then the next component that we have, the next component are the widgets. So as you can see on your screen, highlighted in red, these are the widgets. So they are self-contained package of functionality that can be used within these ArcGIS web applications. The next component is a panel, which is actually the user interface for displaying a widget's execution results. So once you have configured your widget, from the panel you can be able to see what was configured. So it's simply the user interface. So the workflow for creating web apps is quite easy. It's a 4-step workflow. And the first thing that you have to do is you have to share your web map or web scene. Then you select an appropriate template depending on what you want to show. Then after selecting an appropriate template, so then we have the web map for points of interest in Kenya. I use the various widgets within that. And with this web map, and then you can from the map you can be able to see that we have different points of interest, like we have giraffe sanctuary. So I'm just going to have the images, take us through a short demonstration of data related to how we can be able to. And so we want to create an application that we can be able to share either within this configuration template or with other members of the public. And so the first step in creating this application is sharing your web map. And you can choose to share your web map with everyone, that's the public, or with members within your organization. So for our case, we want to share this application with everyone, with the public. So I come here and I'm creating this application. And since it's the web map has points of interest, we can use, as I said earlier, we have different templates that we can use to create our apps. We have different configurable app templates. And for this case, let's pick a story map template. And since we have points of interest, the most suitable template will be story map shortlist, since it will show the points of interest organized in tabs and making it easy for people to explore. So we are creating our story map using the story map shortlist template. So we have a section where you're supposed to have the title. So our title is points of interest in Kenya, and we have the tag, those maps. We can add something else like Kenya. So these points of interest, these tags makes it easier for you to locate your application. Once we are done with that, then we are loading, so that we create our application. So configurable templates are very easy to use, since we don't really need to code. The templates are already there. We just need to configure the templates and get our apps. So we are importing the content that is already in that web map. So I will say yes, import. The layer is points of interest. Then that's it. So we have, you can choose the fields that you want to appear. Like if there are fields that you do not want to appear in your map, then you can uncheck them. For this case, we can have description, we can have the name, we can have the photo URL. Yeah, we can just have those for now. Then click next. So notice that when we import everything that was in our web map, we have the content that was in our web map in this web mapping application. And from this map, you can be able to click on the map. Just a minute, I think I need to add even the images. So let's just go back to our map. So we have points of interest. Let's share this map once again. We're creating a web map. We're using the story map templates. So I want to ensure that when we load our application, it will have the location and the various images that show that location. So now we have to indicate that we will want the field containing even the photo URL. So, and then the main image should be the photo URL. You can still have this for the thumbnail. So yes, this is what I wanted. Now we've imported the details that were in our web map, and this can be shown on our application. So once you click on any of this, say on the image on your left, say we have Aberdare here, then on the map it actually shows you where Aberdare is. For example, we want to see Lamu. So when you click on either the map or or the pane on your left, you can be able to see the points of interest. It's taking some time because of the internet connection. Yeah, this is what exactly I was talking about. So it's quite easy with these configurable templates. You can be able to create your applications very, very fast. The next thing that I would want us to do is see how we can do this with another application. So we have a web map for Kenya secondary schools, and we want to create various applications that we can use to make sense of this data. Sorry for that, we have slow internet connectivity. So for this, we have a lot of details about these schools. Like, if you click on any of these schools on the map, you can be able to see the code, the name of the school, whether it's a public school, whether it's a private school, whether it's a mixed school, whether it's a girls' school, all these details. And so we want to create an application that we can be able to have a summary of all these information. So remember, we said when creating your applications, you first have to share your web map. So we come to share, and then we are sharing this with everyone. We're sharing this with the public, and we create our web map. And for this case, we're going to the category for exploring and summarizing our data. And I want us to use the summary viewer. So with this, you can be able to show the sum, the average, the minimum, and the maximum of a specified field of values. So we are creating our application. It's Kenya Secondary School, say summary. And tag this Kenya. Then we are creating our web application. So for this, for the summary viewer, you can select a field where you want to see the sum, where you want to see the average, where you want to see the minimum, or even the maximum specified value of a certain feature in the map. So we have our map. So the first tab is the general tab, which is simply, here we'll just need to give our application a title, say summary viewer for Kenya Secondary Schools. Then we have the theme. So we can select the color, choose various colors, and that will appear on our application. Then we have the summary layer now. For our case, we only have one layer, that is Kenya Secondary Schools. And maybe we want to get a summary or minimum or maximum of the total enrollment in these schools. So we filter fields by, say, total enrollment. And then since we have so many schools on our map, we can display these as clusters so that our map does not appear very crowded. So we'll check this box that displays the summary as clusters. So once you're done with configuring your application, ensure that you save. And then once your map has saved, then we can be able to launch it and actually see how our map looks like. And remember, the map, the features that will be shown on the map will be based on the current map extent. So if you want to see features within a larger area, then you increase the extent of your map. So for our case, like for this extent, we have a total of 3,551, and the total shows us the total enrollment in terms of the sum, the total number of teachers, total number of pupils, TSC male teachers, TSC female teachers, all the details about this map. And for example, if you want to zoom in to a specific location, so we have a smaller extent. So we have the total number of female teachers in this school, total enrollment, and all the details about the schools in Kenya. So it's quite easy. Using these applications, you can be able to, using these configurable templates, you can be able to create your applications quite easily. I want us to look at one more. So the next thing that I want us to look at is, let's use another application for this. Just a minute. It's loading slowly, just bear with me. So we have a web map for Kenya 2009 population census, and we want to just have an application that can showcase what is in our map. So for this case, remember we have to share our web map, and we are creating a web application. And for this case, I want us to use this category for showcasing our map and use the map tools template. So with this, you can be able to have the various tools. So we are creating this. The title is Kenya 2009 population census. So we just want to have an application that can be able to show what is contained in this web map. For example, we can be able to show the total population, population density, male to female population, and all those details, and even be able to share this map with the public. So the first part is the general tab. For this case, we can have Kenya, the title as Kenya population census 2009. You can add a custom description. For our case, you can just leave it that way. Then you can set the theme, the general theme. If you want to display the logo and all those. Then under options, now we're going to ensure that we have the base map, we have the legend, and we also have the social sharing checked, so that you can be able to share this map with the public. So once we have this, when we come to our map, save the details, whatever we have configured, and then you'll be able to launch our map. So once that is saved, then you can launch your map. Now we have our application here, Kenya population census 2009. So we have used a simple template to showcase the details or the contents in this web map. For example, if you click on, say, a county, like for this case, this is Meru. This shows you the total population, shows you the male population, shows you the female population, shows you the number of households, and this can also be shown in a graph. You can also have this, the percentage of males and females also shown in a graph. Then you can see the layers, you can change your base map, you can have the table showing the details about the Kenya 2009 population census. For example, it shows the county name, the census area, number of males, number of females, households, shape area, and all those details in a table. So with this, you can also print your application. You can also print this map actually. Yeah, so you can actually print this map. So this is a very simple way of sharing information with the public or even members within your organization. So the next thing we want to do is ensure that we have shared this. So there's a tab, share. So so we have the map link here. So you can be able to copy this link and share it with various people, share it with the public on various social media platforms, or even share it on email, whichever means you want to share this information. So with this configurable apps, it's quite easy. With this configurable template, it's quite easy to create applications. You don't need to code, and you have your applications. So I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Wenslaus, who's going to take us through the next bit, which is creating web applications using Web App Builder for ArcGIS. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Wenslaus Simiu, and I will be taking you through the web app builder for ArcGIS. Good afternoon. As it waits to load, as my colleague Evelyn Lele has told you, this basically is to show you people how we can create simple applications in ArcGIS without any coding and still achieving the objectives that you wish to achieve. So I believe it's taking quite some time to load, but here we are. So I'm going to be taking you through Web App Builder for ArcGIS. Basically, Web App Builder for ArcGIS started being supported in ArcGIS Online since 2014, December, and in the portal for ArcGIS from version 10.3 and later. So this Web App Builder for ArcGIS enables apps to be created using what we call the what you see is what you get kind of user experience, where you do something, you launch it and see how it looks before saving and finally deploying it for public use. So basically it is fully integrated within the ArcGIS platform and it is extensible. We can use two options to work with the Web App Builder. There is the first option where we can work within the ArcGIS Online, and this just means that you can do everything on the ArcGIS Online and complete the app ready for deployment. Or two, we may have the developer edition where after finishing and you feel like you need to add something more, you can separately download it, still signing into the ArcGIS Online account and support it with your own custom widgets. Both offer the same builder, user experience, and the same capabilities. So we have a number of widgets. Basically, a widget is a chunk of code that can be added in a modular fashion, and it enables you to extend your functionalities. So we have available widgets that you can use. As you can look roughly at the first three, we have about, analysis, and the base map gallery. And let's look at the last three. We have the splash, zoom slider, and the header controller. These among many more widgets that you can use to convey the tasks that you would like to convey. So this app can be shared on any device, and we are going to see this later on, because as you develop this app, you can finally deploy it before actually sharing it to the public. You can deploy it on several devices, observing how they will look on each device. We are going to see this later in the demonstration. So these are some of the resources, and remember that this video is being recorded and we will share it with you, so don't worry, you can still get these resources. These are some of the resources that can help you refine your skills that we're going to give you today. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a small demo where I will basically be taking you through a tour of the same. So this is basically the ArcGIS online account. This is basically the ArcGIS online account where I have several contents. Right now I have web maps opened, and you can see the Kenya map. I think it's taking a bit of time to load, but here we are. So you can see there's the Kenya map, there's the districts, among many other web maps. So as my colleague explained to you, this is the basic beginning. This is where you need to begin at. You have to have a web map. So I already have my web map created that we are going to use to create this application. So this is the web map. So basically, let's come to the web map where I have already opened. So just like in the configurable applications, you will go to share. Just like you saw in the configurable applications, you will come to share, and then you will share with the public if you so wish, and then you will come to create a web app, And then instead of using the configurable apps, we will use the web app builder. So as you were told earlier, tags are very critical because these help when someone is searching for your applications. So we may add, let's say, demonstration as another tag. You simply add a tag like that, and let's perhaps say the summary should be, this is a short web app builder ArcGIS demonstration. So that's it. Basically, we're just telling guys that fine, this is an application that we have created. What is it about? It is a short web app builder for ArcGIS demonstration. So let's say perhaps let's name our application Kenya Map Short Demo. So I am simply going to create an application that analyzes different county areas in acres using charts, and this application can be used by citizens to be able to change base maps at will. The users should be able to measure points and polygons, and one can bookmark an area and have printing capabilities. Well, let's get started. I hope you all understood what we are trying to do, and you know what to expect as a final product. Again, this may look like many tasks, but you're going to see how easy and how short it is taking us. It is going to take us to create this. So as it is loading, yes, it has already loaded. So basically, this is the interface that I was telling you about. This is the what you see is what you get interface. So all the functionalities that I'm going to create, I'm going to simply create on this interface. So we have a couple of themes here, and you can change your themes to suit your application. And remember, you can choose different themes. We have the billboard theme, we have the box theme, we have the dashboard theme, and the dashboard theme is mainly used especially in cases of infographics. In case you want to show infographics on your map, you come and use the dashboard theme, and you can see this has been indicated on this thumbnail right here. So we have the Launchpad theme, we have the Plateau theme, amongst other themes. So every theme, as you can see, every theme comes with many styles. So for now, let's use the foldable theme, which is the default. And now let's explore the styles. So these styles right here change the color. As you can see, I've clicked on black, and you can see right here, this is where they change. Look at my mouse. This is where they change. You can visibly see the change. So you can see that it has changed to green on click of green. You can see that it has changed to dark green on click of dark green. You can see that it has changed to blue. And furthermore, you may want to use a custom color. Let's say the color that you're interested in is not among these ones. So what do? You use your own color that you wish. You just, all you need to do is get the hexacode for that color. Come here, go to custom, and let's say, sorry about that. So let's say you have like color white in mind. So the hexacode for color white, as most of us know offhand, is F6 times. So when you do that and you apply, you can see that this color has changed to white. But for now, let us use the default style. And again, this comes down to the layouts. You can come here and play around with the layouts to appear as you wish. You realize that when you click on this, there's a certain change. You realize that the tabs are now appearing here when you click on this. So for now, let's use this. And secondly, we are going to go and look at the map that you're using. So I would like you to note that the map has already been selected. And why is this? This is because we already used an existing map from our content. This map already exists on our content in ArcGIS Online. So perhaps you came and created the application from this point. Perhaps you came and created the application from this point. So if you did this, then you will need to add your map here. You will need to add your map here. So you will come and choose a map and choose from the My Content on your ArcGIS online page, and you will choose your map that you will be using to create the application. It may be loading a bit slowly on your end, but I believe you can finally see the My Content tab. So let's now go ahead and say we will use the current map view. We will use the web maps default extent, and we do not want to customize any visible scales, but note that you can customize and say, fine, I want at this level some aspects to appear, and at this level some aspects not to appear, and that can all be done here. Lastly, you can set a refresh interval. Well, let's say using the collector for ArcGIS, you're collecting some points, let's say fresh districts in the village, and you are uploading them to your map. You would like this to be seen as people upload every other day. So you can come here and say, well, I want to set an interval that this thing will be refreshing. And after every 5 minutes, after every 30 minutes, after every 1 week, it can be refreshing. So thirdly, let's come to the widgets. And remember, this is the most critical area because this is where now we are going to add the functionalities that we talked about. So first of all, let's have a look at the ones that exist. So you can see roughly, you can see here, these are some of the common ones. And we are going to add them to these tabs right here. So let's add the first one without any further ado, which will be a chart, a simple chart. So let's add a simple chart. And this chart is basically going to show different counties and perhaps their areas. So you have to come here and add what you would like to be seen on the chart. So we are going to add Kenya counties for this case, and we are going to say, fine, we have picked Kenya counties. So we would like to know the unit area of each county. So that's it. And you can come here and say, I'd like the column chart. This will show the things that I'd like to see better. Fine, and come here and we're done. You've already added your chart. So just come here and say, okay. So secondly, we would like to add, we would like this user, the user that uses this application, to be able to browse through different base maps. So Esri has a number of base maps that can be used. So we can just come here and add the base map gallery from the widgets. So when we do this, you can see already we have added the base map gallery. And remember, we are going to see that these changes have been very critical, and we are going to see them in a short while. So thirdly, we said we would like to enable the user to measure distances from line to line, to measure polygons. We have just the right widget for that. That widget is called measurement. You can come here and pick it, and all you need to do is say, well, I want area, distance, and location, and click OK. So we have added another widget. So lastly, we would like this person to be able to bookmark a certain area. Let's say I've measured a certain area and I want to bookmark it. Well, I've zoomed to a certain area, I would like to bookmark it. You simply come and add the bookmark widget. So the bookmark widget is simply here, has a logo of a bookmark in case you want to use this letter for easy remembering. So that's it. That's basically it. I would like it to appear with all those. Fine. Just click OK. So last but not least, we may say that we would like to print our results. After doing all this, I'd like to have a print, maybe a PDF, maybe a Word document, maybe, I would like to print this results. So, you can come here and say the default copyright, well, Esri Eastern Africa, you may have your own company. I mean, you can go ahead and write it here. Maybe say this is the copyright that will be appearing on your printout. So that's it. That's it. We have created our application and now we are going to test it. So finally, you can come here. We had already named our application, but you can come here, and you know what? Branding is the key to everything. When you create your application and you want more users, you want more interactivity, then we need to know who are you. We need to know who you are. So you can come here and add a picture, you can come and add a link, you can come and put a short, precise, but a name that has a certain explanation, and you can add some links here, say, you want people to visit your website. So all that can be added on attributes. So basically, what I was telling you about the what you see is what you get kind of view. So this launch button right here enables us to see what we have thus far. So when I click on launch, it is going to take me to another interface where I can see what I have done. Remember, we have not saved this project yet, but we can still see what we have already created. So basically, when I come back here and say now I want to save everything that I've done, and I come to the application that I have launched, remember, this is how the targeted user will see your dashboard. This is how your targeted user will interact with it. Now this is the final result. So we added a chart earlier on. So let's see, what does this chart do? Remember, I have not used any coding, and we have this. S3 Eastern Africa has made sure that you have it easy, and you have all this, and you can do all these things by the snap of your finger, as I have done. So basically, this chart, as you can see, already has a bar, some bars, and as I interact, you can see that this is Garissa, and this is the unit area. You can see that it has already done for me a fully exploitive chart. This is Kitui area, and note that it is also appearing on the map. Now follow with me the map. You can see that is Kajiado area. You can see that is Garissa. Well, we have already done this, and we have simply done this by ABCD. We have not done any kind of coding. So this is what I was telling you about the base map gallery. Perhaps the user would like to change the base map. Well, I have this map, but I feel like this map is more of a National Geographic kind of setup. I can come here and change. And well, I have my National Geographic base map. I may say this is more of an OpenStreetMap kind of feel, and I'd like an OpenStreetMap base map. You can simply come there and add that. For now, let us use the National Geographics because we're talking about counties and all that. So the third tool that we added was the measurement. And I told you we can basically come here and pick perhaps a polygon, perhaps points, so let's start with the polygon. Perhaps you want to measure Mandera. So, you can come here. This is for those people who have used ArcGIS desktop, for instance, ArcMap 10.6, the best product to build your maps currently. You may already have done this. So you can see that I have created a tool that somebody can easily measure a polygon. And remember, all this has been done with you right about 2-3 minutes ago. So basically, when I finish and double click, and well, I have my area right here. I have my area right here. So I can say perhaps I want to measure a distance from, let's say, around Lake Turkana right here, all the way to, this end of Kenya. Well, this is 498 miles, just like that. So, those are things that we have created just shortly ago. So this is the bookmark that I was telling you about. So let's say perhaps you want to, you're interested in where S3 Eastern Africa is. you can come here and zoom to Esri Eastern Africa. Remember, we are situated in Upper Hill on Kilimanjaro Avenue. So you'd like to bookmark this area. So, all you need to do is search that area and come back to the tools, and so this is the area that we are situated. So you can come to the tools right here and say, I want to bookmark this area, and say perhaps this is the Esri Eastern Africa region. So that's it. Perhaps you want to add another bookmark, perhaps let's say Somalia. Well, it's interesting, Somalia came to mind, but well, that's what it is. So I'm going to name this bookmark Somalia. So we have another bookmark just like that. And basically, if you come to these bookmarks, you can change the imagery. So I can zoom into Esri Eastern Africa. I can zoom into Somalia. So basically, that's it. Let's go back to the default extent. So finally, you can print, let's say, perhaps you want to print the Esri Eastern Africa area. You come and use our final tool, print. This is a tool that just enables you to print something. So for now, you can already see that it's printing a PDF. So let's say you've done some things. You perhaps have a chart and you want to print. It's still the same thing, So if we are to open that, so there we have our PDF. That is the Esri Eastern Africa region. Let's say we want to print this chart. All you need to do is to come and highlight it, and well, you can then go ahead and print this area. So let's say you wanted to highlight Garissa, and you want to print this. All you need to do is come and highlight Garissa and print it. So that's basically it. I hope you have seen how easy it is to create a fully fledged application using I hope that you have seen how we can do that in a very short time. Basically, that's it from us, and thank you really very much for attending this webinar today, and we will be sharing it on our YouTube, Esri Eastern Africa.